First thing that we want to look at is just simply what's going on with mortgage interest rates. So this is your mortgage-backed security chart. So how it works is as the cost of the bond goes down, rates go up. As the cost of the bond goes up, rates go down. So this is the last 6 months. Few things just to point out to you. Number one, just the volatility in the market. This goes all the way back to September. So this is that late summer, early fall period where we saw a good spike in interest rates. Saw a little bit of relief kind of in that November, early December time frame, but then saw the big spike in rates all the way up through mid-January. But the cool thing is over the course of the last 90 days or so, you can see the overall trend for mortgage rates is actually down. Like if we look at it over the course of the last 90 days or so, going back to mid-January, really the last 60 days or so, even though we've still got that volatility of up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, we're actually in a trend of lower interest rates now. A good thing you can always look at, or is the 10-year Treasury yield. 10-year Treasuries don't have direct impacts on mortgage rates, but at the same time, the rate on a 30-year fixed rate mortgage will almost always track or move in the same direction as the 10-year Treasury yield. So you can actually see here was kind of the high point of the 10-year Treasury yield drifting down, a lot of volatility. So I think the big thing, the talk tracks for our clients right now is just simply explaining to them, hey, there's a lot of volatility in the market. Rates are going to be up and down a little bit, but the overall trend is lower. So we are anticipating see lower rates throughout the year, but nothing major. I'm kind of on the same forecast that I was on at the beginning of the year. I don't think anything's changed there in terms of just gradual rates just a little bit lower over time with little spikes based on economic data that comes out through the year. So again, I think we probably land late in the year in that 6.5, maybe as low as 6.25. It would take some pretty major economic weakness to get us all the way down to 6 or something with a 5 handle without buying it down. But overall, that's going to be a trend. I mean, when we saw rates drop below 6.5 back, if you remember back last March, that really got the market active. So it isn't going to take a lot. And then most of your surveys that are out there, like NAR did a survey back last year, and kind of the optimal interest rate is like that 5.58, 5.7, 5.8. I think we get to 5.7, 5.8. That really sets the market on fire. I think we need to be a little bit careful there just because we do need, even though inventory is improved substantially in the market, we're seeing a lot more inventory right now than we were this time a year ago. The reality is that we want to get in a healthy inventory place before we see interest rates, because we don't want to get ourselves back in a position to where we were 24 months ago when it was 8 offers on every property and everything was rushed and didn't feel good, and we didn't have time to give a great client experience. And at the end of the day, that's really what we want is we want to help people buy houses and give them a great experience. Second thing looking at right now is just simply this is just a resource point. So there is a website called Mortgage News Daily. Mortgage News Daily is a great site just for tracking interest rates. Number one, they publish the national average mortgage interest rate given on any given day. So you can see at the end of the day last year, the 30-year rate was right at about 6.79. I think we'll see that move a little bit lower today just on the jobs report that came out that I'll talk about here in just a second. But it's also a great resource for housing data. So it's got all the reports, the NAR reports, existing home sales, pending home sales, all that good stuff. And it's also got a lot of great, just like real estate news. So if you are looking for a place to track interest rates, clients love to ask realtors instead of mortgage people, hey, what are rates today, or what's going on with interest rates? It's always a good just talk track of national average is 6.79. Now you got to understand, if we're looking at that on the conventional side, that's going to assume 25% down, perfect credit score, low debt to income ratio. Same thing if we're looking at the national average of 7 on the jumbos right now, which is really big for our Emerald Coast market. Again, 25% down, good high credit score, 780 plus, low debt to income ratio. You can kind of give them that talk track and share with them where the national averages are. Okay, so Mortgage News Daily, great resource for being able to share information with clients. Hey, Miss Green, thanks for joining. We're in the middle of the nerd stuff. All right, next thing I want to show you just real quick is upcoming economic calendar. Just to point out a few things that are going to be our big market movers in terms of interest rates over the course of the next 30 days. This is again, if you depending on how much you want to geek out, this is a great website. It's called Trading Economics. You can look at economic calendars all over the world. It has economic news on it, market forecasts, all these different things. This is the piece I tend to look at is the economics calendar. Two big things that the Fed is looking at right now in terms of interest rate direction for the rest of the year is just simply employment and inflation. So today was a big day. Obviously, we got our non-farms payroll report. Good news, which bad news, but good news for real estate is just simply the number of jobs created was less than what was expected. Unemployment rate did tick up a little bit. There was still some wage growth in that, which can be inflationary. That's one of the things that Fed Chair Powell has said that they're monitoring. So it'll be interesting to see. He's actually speaking today at 1:30. So it'll be interesting to see what his commentary is on today's non-farms payroll report, on today's jobs number, because again, the employment picture it's looked like it's definitely weakening. Um, and I think that's probably going to be the case at least through the first half of the year. And even though we don't want people to lose their jobs, at the same time, the reality is that softer employment typically does tend to lead to lower mortgage interest rates. So we'll be keeping a close eye on employment. And then obviously also inflation. We got our CPI report coming out next Wednesday. That's Consumer Price Index. We want to see inflation continuing to drop. I know thankfully I got gas this morning for 2.55 a gallon. That was the lowest I've gotten gas for in a while. So at least saw it a little bit at the pump this morning. So that'll be our consumer information, and then you got the producer information on Thursday. Again, another producer is what manufacturers are paying for goods to manufacture stuff. Core is what we're paying for it. A couple other big reports are just obviously I think it's a good idea as agents, as mortgage people, to be keeping an eye on all of our housing stuff. We got building permits and housing starts coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Existing home sales, that next report towards the end of the month on the 20th. And then we do have a Fed rate decision. We do have a Fed meeting this week. So that'll be a big market mover. So March is going to be pretty dynamic in terms of direction of where mortgage interest rates are going. So the data should be pretty good in terms of what it looks like. I do again think we're starting to see some softening of the economy. I think the consumers just getting to the end of their rope in terms of when you look at the data around savings rates, they're back to lows that they were pre-COVID. When you look at credit card balances, they're back to the highs that they were pre-COVID. And so those are all things that are going to cause the consumer to spend less, which in turn will eventually start to slow down the economy a little bit, and again lead to lower interest rates. I'm obviously not an economist. I don't know that we ever get to a full recession, but if you look back historically, slower economies, recessions, those are things that are actually positive for real estate. You usually see real estate pick up in those environments just simply because interest rates tend to get lower, number one, and home values tend to slow and flatten in those environments. So I think we definitely got some good stuff coming on the horizon. Probably more towards the second half of the year. When I listen to people who are a lot smarter than me, that's kind of their think tracks, and I tend to agree based on what I'm seeing. But those are just some upcoming economic reports that are going to be market movers for us. Next thing I just want to show you real quick is just a couple of websites that I reference quite a bit. Number one, this is the Mortgage Bankers Association website, so MBA. So this is your national MBA website. One thing that I watch for every single week on Wednesdays, the Mortgage Bankers Association publishes the data around loan applications. Why this is so super duper relevant is just simply, again, most of the people that buy homes do get a mortgage. Even though we're at a point to where we're at all-time highs in the number of cash buyers that are out there, it's still generally only about 20 to 30% of buyers are paying cash for properties. And on the higher ends, you're seeing even fewer than that, more like 10 to 15%. So applications is a lead indicator of where the market's going, meaning that if most people get a mortgage, if mortgage applications are increasing, then that means there's more people that are preparing to buy a house. So this was this week's report. Again, they publish it every Wednesday. Seasonally adjusted purchase index was up 9% week over week. So that's a good thing. And then we're seeing loan applications 2%, which isn't crazy higher than where they were last year, but they are higher than where they were last year, and that's a good sign given where we are in time of year. We are still in our winter months in what would be considered off-peak season. So I think if we can continue to see applications continue to increase, I know here personally in my mortgage practice, we are seeing more mortgage applications right now than we saw this time last year as I look back at my personal data year over year. So that's a good one to track. And then Mortgage Bankers Association obviously has a lot of good information about the industry. And then your all's website, man. The National Association of Realtors website is a humongous resource for all of us that are in the real estate industry, not just realtors. I always love to go to this research and statistics section because it has just so many different presentations. Somebody that I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and anytime he says anything, I listen to it, is Dr. Yoon, Lawrence Yoon, who's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. He gave his instant reaction to the jobs report this morning. I would encourage you to jump on our website and read that, or get on his Twitter or Facebook or whatever and check that out. One of my favorite things to look at within the NAR website is this median home price and mortgage payments by county because it gives you real local data. I think all this stuff, y'all, as we look at data, I think what I'm seeing as far as agents goes, the agents that are the expert and are demonstrating their knowledge of what's going on both in the national and local market are the ones that are tending to win right now. Whether those talk tracks are in their social or as they're talking to clients in their buyer consultation, listing consultation, things like that. So just taking a few minutes every day just to get on MBA, get on NAR, get on sites like Mortgage News Daily, and just do a little education and find those two or three bullet points that can be your talk tracks, knowledge points for as you're talking to clients or stuff that you're putting out. Just a great thing to do. So those are both tremendous resources to use as well, and things that I'm looking at. So again, as we get in the groove of doing this every month, again, trying to just keep it at 20-30 minutes, just quick market updates for you guys, and then giving a time for you guys to ask any questions you want to ask. We'll do that, but what I'll keep finding those types of things to pass on to you. Last thing I want to show you before I give you guys a chance to just ask a couple questions. So we have a resource that allows us to pull what's called a real estate report card. I gotta find my mouse here. Where'd you go, buddy? Here he is, maybe. Oh, just a second. It is not cooperating. Hang on. Got to be able to show the screen. Hang on. There we go. All right, cool. So here's our real estate report cards for Walton, Okaloosa, and Bay counties. So again, if this is a graphic that you guys would like to have, we can co-brand these with my information, your information, so you can put those out on social, send them to your clients. So this is Walton County. Again, seeing a good amount of appreciation even with the market slowing down. We're at a 4.95 year over year on appreciation. So when you look at the 5 year gain, home values up 24, almost 25%, call it, over the course of the last 5 years. Here's our historical normals. So again, we're still far, even with the market starting to slow, we're still far outpacing what has been historical appreciation for the market. Good supply there in Walton of homes being built. We obviously know that we've got some of the big boys, the D.R. Hortons, some of those things. Lots of construction activity happening, particularly on the Bay side, but also seeing that in some still in Miramar and 30A and all that type of stuff. Good percentage of home ownerships. there, but still got a 30% rent rate in Walton County. So there's still opportunities for those first time home buyers in Walton County. Affordability index, as most of us know who own property in Walton County, is still challenging. 100 is a median. 100 at 100 on your affordability index is basically, the average household earning the median income can afford a house with 20% down. So affordability is still a challenge, but we got a good median household income there in Walton County. As we look at Okaloosa County, again, still good amounts of appreciation, not quite where Walton is, but still a little over 21% year over year, still far outpacing historical averages. Lot more renters in Okaloosa, than we have in Walton. So again, opportunities there for the first time home buyer market is there. Affordability quite a bit better in Okaloosa County right now compared to median household income than it is in Walton. So that's encouraging when we think about the opportunity for the first time home buyer in there. Good amount of active listings in the area. And then again, we're seeing, right now, interestingly enough, purchasing age demographics in that 27 to 35 range in Okaloosa. Last scorecard is just going to be simply for Bay counties or Panama City type area. Again, still very, very strong year over year appreciation, just over 20%, far as outpacing historical. Again, pretty good. We're not quite at 100, but still a really good affordability score there at 95. 25% of all households are renters there. So again, opportunity to attract some first time home buyers or some renters out of that rental market there in Bay County. So overall, all three of these markets still very, very healthy. Obviously, definitely challenging in terms of cost and affordability, things like that. But overall, still lots of opportunities in the market, and one of the big reasons why I'm super excited to be down there now and be a part of it. So, again, if you want copies of those real estate report cards, I can send those to you. Just shoot me a text or an email, and then if you want them co-branded, we'll jump together offline and set those up for you and get those to you with all my information, all your information on it. If you want to share on social, email those report cards out, whatever. Just a good slick marketing piece with a lot of really, really good data in it. So yeah, we're right at about 20 minutes. Like I said, quick market update. That's what's going on with rates, what we're seeing coming up this month in terms of what's going to be moving the markets, and then again the report cards on our three main counties there on the coast. So for you guys, just open it up to any few questions that you want to ask me here. You can just unmute yourself and ask, and we'll get wrapped up. You guys good?
Thank you very much. That was great.
Yeah, no problem at
Yeah,
all.
thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem at all. Like I said, we've recorded these, so we'll put them on YouTube and post them out. That way, if you guys want to share them with other agents, and just be on the lookout for around the first Friday of every month, we'll do this again in April. All right, guys. Well, thanks for taking the time to jump on today. And if you need anything at all, just reach out to me. Okay. Talk soon. Take care.